Previously on my channel, I did a video on my favorite character from Helluva Boss, Verosika. Despite being a Verosika video, I spent a lot of time talking about her ex, Blitz. To be fair, that's mostly due to there not being that many clips of Verosika in the series. However, I brought up something I wanted to cover in a separate video. In episode 7, Blitz gets called out for his behavior by two people that used to be close to him, Vizarali and Verosika. In my Verosika video, I said that I think her words finally told Blitz what he did wrong, and that I believed this episode was what he needed to be a better person. With that said, though, there's one question worth asking. Does Blitz deserve to be loved? Let's assume I'm right, and Blitz does realize he's been an ass to people he used to be close with, like Verosika. Just because someone knows what they did wrong, doesn't mean they deserve to be forgiven and loved by others. I mean, Alistair knows what he does is wrong, and he doesn't care. Granted, comparing Blitz to Alistair is extreme, but that still leaves my previous question. Does Blitz deserve to be loved? Well, let's start by looking at Blitz as a character. Blitz is the founder and boss of IMP and the main character of Helluva Boss. Usually the story is moved forward by his actions. Even when he's not accepting a job from someone, he's usually the one moving the story forward. For example, he's the one who decided to challenge Verosika over a parking spot, the one who decided to invite the Imp crew to the Wrath Ring, and he decided to go to Aussie's to spy on Moxie and Millie on their anniversary. The only exception so far is the first episode of Season 2, which focused on Stolas' backstory. My point is we get to see a lot about Blitz in the series. Not only do we get to know a lot about him, but we also get to see a lot related to his relationships. Not just his love interests like Stolas and Verosika, but we see his relationships with his employees Moxie and Millie and his daughter Loona. So let's take a look at his relationships and how they reflect on who Blitz is as a person. Let's start with the ones we see most often, Moxie and Millie. Usually, whenever we see them interact with Blitz, it's for comedy. Blitz will do something to annoy Moxie, and Moxie will get mad at Blitz and yell at him.
I'm calling you slow, Moxie. God, why don't you learn to take criticism, you talentless baby-dicked troll?
Well, why don't you take an art class?
Why don't you see how expensive they are?
Millie sometimes gets involved, but it's mostly her thinking what Blitz does is funny. She also tries calming Moxie down when Blitz makes him flip out.
Relax, sweetie. Don't let him get to you today. Let's just go home and clean his blood off.
If only Millie were a succubus, she'd be perfect. Don't judge me. There isn't that much more to say about Millie, sadly. She doesn't have that much development currently, so I can't really add anything else. However, there is a reason I'm pairing both Moxie and Millie together for this part. Before I get into why, though, let's talk about Blitz and Moxie. Despite how Moxie argues with Blitz, Blitz has made it clear that he does care about him. For example, Blitz was concerned about him when the succubi assaulted him in episode 3 and stood up to defend him when Osmodeus criticized him for singing a love song at Aussie's. However, the best examples of Blitz caring about Moxie are in episode 6. During Blitz's hallucination, he sees a vision of Moxie criticizing him. It starts with Moxie just criticizing how Blitz always needs Moxie and Millie to do most of the work, but then jumps to Moxie commenting about Blitz's relationship issues.
I believe your self-conscious is trying to tell you that you simply cannot fathom proper intimacy, but also craving as well. It's rather unfortunate, sir, considering it's often how you treat those who stand by you, such as myself.
Seeing Moxie say that to him in his hallucination is deep the more you think about it. Blitz's subconscious points out that he's aware of his bad relationships, but still craves having an intimate connection with someone. It also has Moxie ask if Blitz is afraid of him leaving because of his toxic behavior. Also, hearing all the people in his head telling him he'd die alone helps make it clear it's a fear Blitz has. So what does this have to do with Moxie, though? I think Blitz being obsessed with Moxie and Millie isn't just for comedy or to annoy Moxie, but Blitz is genuinely envious of their relationship. He sees that they love each other and wants what they have. I mean, can anyone name one issue Moxie and Millie have in their relationship? They're both supportive of each other, they're willing to defend the other without a second thought, and they're so adorable when you see them on screen. It makes sense that someone who's had bad relationships in the past would see them and wish they had the same in their life. At the same time, Blitz does show he genuinely cares for Moxie in the same episode. After Moxie and Blitz snap out of their hallucinations, Moxie talks about when he first joined Imp, and that Blitz was supportive despite Moxie thinking he wanted to say something judgmental instead. Once Moxie finishes, Blitz says this.
Look, I'm hard on you because I know what you're capable of, Mox. You care too much about what everyone thinks, except for me, because, my opinion is correct, but just keep doing a good job.
This line does show that Blitz is capable of being a good person to other people. Not only does Moxie tell us he complimented him when he needed it back then, but Blitz compliments him after because he knows Moxie is a great worker. I also think Blitz realizes he can't do this job alone and does enjoy having employees like Moxie and Millie. As I said, I do believe he's envious of their relationship. At the same time, they are great at their jobs. It's also not a bad thing to need other people so you can do a job, and Blitz is lucky to have two excellent workers like Moxie and Millie. However, they're not the only employees at Imp. There's also his receptionist and adoptive daughter, Loona. For a while, the only thing we knew about Loona's history was that Blitz adopted her. Even then, we still didn't know that much about them. For example, we didn't know Loona's age when Blitz adopted her. Even with her not having that much screen time though, Loona is one of the most popular characters in the series.
Come on, you know why.
Oh, I do. We all do. Anyways, we finally got more background on her in episode 3 when we learned about her history with Blitz.
Because I adopted you! And that should mean something!
Oh, what does it matter? You're not my real dad! I was almost 18!
So I'm not going to talk much about Loona and Blitz's history in this video. I've heard multiple theories about them, such as Blitz adopting her because she was almost 18, which meant he didn't have to care for her in the same way he would if she was 7, for example. There are also theories that Blitz genuinely wanted to adopt, but because he's single and has an irregular income, they let him adopt Loona since she was close to turning 18. Until vivziepop clarifies it, I won't comment on any of that. If anyone is curious, I'll link one of the Reddit threads related to why Blitz adopted her in the description. Instead, I'll talk about what we see in the show about them. For the most part, Blitz comes off as an overprotective dad for Loona. He's against her being in danger and becomes worried if he loses sight of her, or if she's in a dangerous situation.
Hey, is there a way I can come with you guys this time?
Absolutely not. I forbid it. Not gonna happen. Sorry, sweetie. Spring break is no place for young, vulnerable goth girls. You know, the kind of freaks up there who drool all over you. Next one, Looney. Come on. Looney. Where's my baby? How'd you get here all by yourself? Looney!
Blitz also points out that Loona is his daughter to everyone and tells her how much he cares about her.
I'm not just his hellhound.
Yeah, she's my daughter.
Only on paper.
Oh, Looney, look at you. You look downright awful. I am so proud.
Do it, motherfucker! What?
I am just so damn proud of you, Looney.
Bye, sweetie.
I also love seeing moments of Loona showing she cares about Blitz, such as almost calling him dad and trying to talk to him after their fight in episode 3. It does show that on some level, Loona does care about Blitz. I wish I could say more, but there isn't that much more to talk about related to their relationship. Again, Loona hasn't had that much screen time, so we don't know much more about her currently. Hopefully that also changes in Season 2, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, I'd love to do a video on her in the future, so having more clips to work with related to her would be helpful. Now, I want to talk about Blitz's current love interest, Stolas. So Stolas is an interesting character to talk about in Helluva Boss. When we first saw him in the pilot, he seemed like some rich pervert who always wanted to sleep with Blitz. For a couple of episodes, he still seemed that way. I mean, we even saw him hitting on Blitz when he was supposed to spend a day with his daughter.
Hey, Dad, do we have to...
Okay, hold on right there, sweetie. If you try fucking my little ass in that park, I swear to you are so cute when you are serious.
However, as I pointed out in my previous video, this series subverts character expectations. That may have been the first impressions we got from Stolas, but we started to learn more about him as the series went along, such as how Stolas and Blitz met as kids. We see that Blitz first met Stolas after being paid to play with him for a day. While yes, Blitz was talked into it by his dad so he could steal from the Goetias, we do see Blitz having fun and telling Stolas about his dreams like what a friend would do. Then we get to see them older and see how their relationship started. Blitz tries to steal the grimoire because he remembers Stolas telling him about the powers it holds, and Stolas thinks he's there because he wants to see him again. This becomes a misunderstanding of Stolas thinking Blitz is there to, well, I'll let him say it himself.
I want you to me with your in. Get it all the way through me, you.
Fun fact, misunderstandings are considered one of the earliest forms of comedy, such as the Abbott and Costello sketch, Who's on First?
Now, on the St. Louis team, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
That's what I want to find out. I want you to tell me the names of the fellas on the St. Louis team.
I'm telling you, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
You know the fellas' names?
Yes.
Well, then who's playing first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name on first base.
Who?
Wow. We've sure come a long way with comedy, haven't we? Anyways, back on topic. This scene makes it clear that the only thing Blitz cares about is getting the grimoire and is only playing along to distract Stolas. We even see him try to get away after tying Stolas up. However, he stops when Stolas says this.
You have no idea how long I've craved this kind of passion, and how much it means that the one who wants me is my first ever friend.
Despite only caring about getting the grimoire to use for his business, Blitz stops when he hears Stolas talk about being loved by his first friend. It does show that Blitz is capable of feeling bad for others and going out of his way to make them happy. Yes, he's still planning on stealing something, but it is one of those moments that shows Blitz is capable of caring for someone besides himself. If Blitz were selfish, like Veronica said in her solo, he would have run off with the grimoire without thinking twice. Instead, he slept with Stolas and has continued sleeping with him since then. You can't argue that it's only because of the deal they made, but a couple of things show it means more to Blitz than just being a way to keep the grimoire. In episode 7, Blitz uses Stolas to get into Aussies to spy on Moxie and Millie. Like I said before, he gets called out by Fizzaroli and Veronica. However, I haven't mentioned that he kind of gets a taste of his own medicine when Osmodeus recognizes Stolas and says this. Keep in mind to watch Blitz's reaction during this part.
You used to have a smoking wife, a kid, you had it all. I hope you didn't give it up so you and him could get it up. You sold your life for a thrust!
Looking at Blitz during this, you see Stolas' reaction hurts him. Keep in mind, Stolas actively hit on him in front of his daughter at a theme park, but being called out at a club by someone was what made him embarrassed. I know there's more to it than that, but here's the thing. Blitz doesn't know that, and I'm only talking about Blitz's point of view in this scene. All Blitz knows at this moment is Stolas is embarrassed, and he thinks it's because he got called out for coming to the club with him. Blitz even confronts Stolas, showing what he thinks their relationship is.
Stolas, don't act like what we have is anything but you wanting me to fuck you, okay? You make that really clear all the time.
Again, it shows Blitz was hurt, and I don't think he would have cared if he didn't have feelings for Stolas. Also, as I said about him and Veronica in my last video, he has a photo of him smiling while in bed with Stolas. So now that we have more of an idea of who Blitz is as a person, let's talk about the question I brought up earlier. Does Blitz deserve to be loved? The series does show that Blitz can be a good person at times. He can be kind and supportive to his employees, protective and loving to his daughter, and does know what it's like to be hurt by someone you think is close to you. But does all that mean he deserves to be loved? Well, here's the thing. I don't think anyone deserves to be loved. To be more specific, I believe everyone has to work to be loved by others. I view it the same way as I do respect. If you want respect, you have to show respect. For example, I'm currently a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo, but I don't pull my belt rank like it's an automatic reason to respect me. I still show respect to everyone, and they show me respect back. So the question at this point is more, do I think Blitz has done enough to be loved by others? Honestly, I'd say no, but he's at least trying now. Yes, he does seem to have better relationships with everyone I mentioned earlier, but we're still not sure about his past relationships with people like Veronica and Fizzaroli. There's every possibility that Blitz was like that with them and still ended up falling out with them. We even saw that he and Fizzaroli appeared close as kids, and now they hate each other. If Blitz wants to be loved by others, he has to become a better person. It's not just caring about his current relationships, but also changing his behavior so that he doesn't drive those people away. This is why I think episode 7 was the best thing to happen to him. He heard that he broke his ex's heart and finally felt what it was like to be used by someone he thought genuinely loved him. In a lot of ways, episode 7 was Blitz's rock bottom. The best thing about hitting rock bottom, though, is the only way to go from here is up. Okay, fine. It's a cheesy line, but it's true. Blitz may have been an ass to people that used to care about him, but he still has the opportunity to change for the better. Not only will that keep his current relationships, but it might even help repair previous ones like his and Verosika's relationship. Either way, it's up to Blitz to make those changes. It may be a long road to improving himself, but I'm hopeful for him. And that was my video on Blitz. Overall, one of my favorite characters, but has a long way to go towards becoming a better person. As always, though, I'm more curious about what all of you think. Do you think Blitz deserves to be loved? Do you think he can become a better person? Let me know in the comments, as well as who your favorite characters from Helluva Boss are. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more of my content in the future. Also, if anyone is curious about seeing the whole Who's on First sketch, I'll leave a link in the description. I'm Marco Strange. Stay safe. Stay strange.